Eric here, DeFi IoT. Today we're going to cover a topic of the SWIFT, what's coming down with the SWIFT, the payment platform internationally, basically the U.S. banking system globally, the CBDC, the central bank digital currency, and why we should be defending decentralized crypto. Jumping into this, the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications, SWIFT, has long been a golden thread in the world of international finance. This article is by Forbes. You know, you kind of wonder where Forbes is sometimes, on the right, on the left, in the middle. My personal opinion from what I'm reading from Forbes is a lot of it's on the left. It's kind of that spin. This is supporting wholeheartedly the whole idea of a CBDC on a global aspect, SWIFT, which we know was announced about a month or so ago, 12 to 24 months, will now become digital. In other words, you won't be able to pull out of the SWIFT tangible money, right? Or what we call currency. True money is gold and silver, but this is the currency we use instead of that gold and silver anymore. Well, that's going to be phased out. And the SWIFT is going to now start out in the next 12, 24 months of being solely digital. What that means, I'm not sure. But what they're trying to work out now is they don't want, this article is going to go into, they don't want fragmented financial systems, right? What they want is a system right now that's controlled by the dollar, but a digital dollar. And this has got a lot of support as if this is something good. Let me tell you something. There's what? We'll read through maybe 120 countries already now out of what? 200 in the world already either entertaining or moving towards advancing now towards a digital currency. So they're going to eliminate their digital money. It's not really even a currency. It's money, right? And they're going to eliminate this money. And this is going to have an effect on us and our freedoms and our agency. Now, how is that going to affect our freedoms, our agency? How is that going to affect us in crypto? To make everything digital, right? What they want to do here. I'm going to put this article down below to show you where they're going, how serious this is. To make everything digital, you're going to have to be able to identify the person who's going to access that digital wallet. It's going to be on your phone. Most of you are listening probably on this phone right now. That digital wallet will be on your phone. If you have your crypto wallet now, it's the same idea, right? You have like a QR code, the same concept of what they want to do with the dollar. China's already done this. North Korea has a lot of this stuff implemented. What we need to worry about, though, is the draconian control. You want to buy an ice cream? You got to have to get permission. It's like when I go into the store or something, I swipe my card, and for some reason, whether there's money there or not money there, the card doesn't work sometimes, right? Most of the time it does. Now, what happens if electricity's down and you can't use a card? You've gone into a store late and they're already closing things down and you can't use your card. You have to pay cash, right? Those opportunities won't exist anymore. And everything's going to be permission-based. So just like when you're swiping your credit card, you're waiting for the approval. You're waiting for an approval. You're waiting for permission from Big Brother to say, yeah, you can buy that. Now, when you put a credit score, a carbon credit score attached to that digital ID, that will also allow you to buy or not buy what they think is good or not good for society, or what you have would you have privileges remaining, not rights anymore. In other words, if you abuse your privileges and you hit a threshold that you are going to, maybe your carbon credit score is that you drove too much this week. Or even if you went to church on Sunday, right? Because that is also toxic and can cause friction, and that friction causes this eating away at our ozone layer, so to speak. Now I'm jumping to conclusions here. Not conclusions, but I'm just going to the extreme. This is the idea, though. Come on. Cows passing gas right now are contributing to the emissions, these greenhouse emissions. Anything's going to be contributing to greenhouse emissions. Stress, for example. What we need to do is concern ourselves with this. So where does crypto then fall in? Decentralized crypto, decentralized blockchain, not the centralized that they want to use. They're going to use a crypto. They're going to use a blockchain for the same goal, right? So they're jumping on blockchain to take control of it, but they're centralizing it. So anything centralized is not good. And look what's happening, like even Ethereum. Ethereum's come out now and gotten slapped. It looks like Ethereum is going to be considered shares. And now you've got even bogus lawsuits coming up like against Coinbase. coming back and people filing class action suits because they bought Uniswap, they bought certain crypto on Coinbase, that now the SEC is coming back and saying, well, they look like they're shares, but they haven't determined that yet. And people are still able to go do lawsuits. It's incredible what's happening in this country right now. The people are guilty before they even get a chance to prove themselves innocent. I'll give you an example. I get a little traffic ticket, something minor, right? And then I get something from the court saying I got to pay $650. I'm like, what? This is absolutely ridiculous. It was just something minor. And then it said, well, you can check whether you're guilty or not guilty, and you can go and appeal this, but you got to pay your $650 up front. Wait a minute. So you got to do your time first. You got to pay your penalty first, and then you're chosen if you're guilty or not guilty. Well, it went back to the judge and came back to me this week showing you're not guilty. We're going to refund you $335. Wait a minute. I gave you $650. They just decided, well, for our time and for taking up our time, we're charging $300 and some change. That is absolutely ridiculous. That's what I'm talking about with the control. Now imagine if it's digital, they don't have to do anything because it's going to be run by the FedNow program, which is part of the Federal Reserve. And they're going to just go in and just take it from you. It just comes out of your wallet. Whether that's to pay your rent or not to pay your rent, you're not going to have a time span. It's just going to be taken out. And what you're going to do, your privileges are going to be based off of your actions, whether you are affecting climate change or not. Really important that decentralized crypto maintains so that we have an outlet to be able to change things in. However, we get to a cyber attack or the government wants to just shut off electricity like they're doing currently in Ecuador right now. They're shutting off electricity 4 to 8 hours a day. Makes it really, really difficult to run a business or even to mine crypto. Now you can get in it enough to trade if you need to. That's fine. The times it's up. But to mine it and support it, the government can do that as well. Just start cutting off electricity, and that will put a huge hamper in a lot of these cryptocurrencies. Now, those that have gone to a solar energy or things of that nature have their own backup energies. They'll be able to sustain certain networks, but there's not that many of them. Think about it. So if the government just started playing games with electricity, we'd have a problem maintaining these blockchains. So what's the backup for that? I've always been saying your precious metals, but you hold them, you put them, you take possession of them. You find some place safe for them and take possession of them and gather them and just keep gathering them. I'll put a link down below to a company too, where you can actually buy some from and buy these bills. They're actually gold bills. They're $4 each. They're easy to trade, if the time came for it. And there's like 6 or 7 states now that are accepting those gold bills. Getting back to this article. The SWIFT narrative, the whole idea of the SWIFT narrative is to control the financial system. Remember, one of Henry Kissinger's quotes was that in controlling the food, controlling the money, right, how you would able to advance your control over the people and the populace and the world, right? So controlling money and controlling food are two aspects that the global elites want, and what's being passed down into America and these other countries in the Western Hemisphere now is this complete control of food and money. Right? As well as then we're going to get into other resources like medical, things of that nature. That's why it's all fallen under that umbrella now of we're going to obey what the World Health Organization has to say to us. All that is going to come into that digital ID and determine whether you can even buy crypto or not buy crypto in the future. If you're somebody who is a high risk to climate change, very likely, you will not be able to buy crypto or be limited at what crypto you can buy. Everything is going to have this control mechanism to us for our safety and for our health, when it has nothing to do with that. What does decentralized crypto offer us? That opportunity to get out of that. However, keep in mind, they can play with the access to the internet, and they can play with the actual electricity that we need to fire up that internet, right? What they can't play with are metals, precious metals. And they actually can, because if you buy those on a credit card, they can track it back like they're doing right now. People about certain triggers or whatever for weapons or even Tony shells, etc. They're actually coming back and knocking on the doors. The ATF and FBI are, and they're taking these things from people. They're asking for them. Now remember, back in the 1930s, Roosevelt also came back and confiscated gold for him. But if you didn't turn it in, severe penalties. Don't think that might not happen again. Because there's going to come a time with the BRICS nations buying up all the gold and silver right now to get away from the dollar and to get away from this digital dollar especially. There's going to become more of a crisis, so to speak, a limitation on your precious metals. One we just did an article as well is copper. That might be something to even look into. It's gone up 100% since we came out of the whole lockdowns over the last, year, 2 years. Not to say that it can go as high as gold or silver, but it's something to look towards because of its need industrial-wise. All right, well, that's enough. I'm going to put this article down below. I think I made a case for why we should be defending decentralized crypto. Our children need that freedom in the future. We have debt just being piled on us right now by this administration. We have an invasion at our borders, both north and south. We're not talking about the north border very much at all, but it's out there. If you can look for it, you can find it. We're being completely invaded by a country, and things are not looking very optimistic right now for my children and my grandchildren. So I'm going to stand to defend what I feel is going to be a free market economy for them and find a way for them to get around all these draconian measures with these tyrannical governments trying to take away our freedoms and ability and destroy our U.S. Constitution. Watching the American people sit back and let it happen is making me sick to my stomach. And that's why I want to do something about it and why we do this podcast. So do us a favor, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe down below. It's free. It just helps us out in the algorithms, keeps YouTube off of our back, and then we can get people out there and get this message to them. Help us out. Help out America. Help out freedom in this world by supporting decentralized blockchain. DeFi OT. We'll see you in the next video.